All right, so today we're out working on the truck, and what we're gonna do, typically these how-tos, it's gonna be a little more in-depth. This time we already have some things in place, so I'll explain what's done. It's very simple so far, and it's all we're doing is hooking up a light bar. So we're gonna hook up the wiring. We have the light bar in place. We have the brackets ready. We have all the bolts, everything needed. And all you're gonna need is a pair of pliers of some sort. In this case, we need a 12 millimeter and an 11 millimeter ratchet, and the wiring harness and the light bar. So all we've done so far, I'll explain it. We have the wiring harness in place inside the engine bay. At this point, we've tied up the loose wiring and taken the switch and put it into the cab, and all we've done for that is we've taken it. This is the wire for it here. It runs down. Hopefully you can see it at least a little. We just put it down through the engine bay. It comes up. Let me open up the door right here. It comes up right there, comes through the door and right to here. So we actually have a switch that is accessible in the cab, and there's different ways to do it. You can make it cleaner so you don't have the wires hanging through, but we just found that is the easiest way. It works fine, and there's no benefit to us in a truck like this to actually do it a different way. So at this point, all we have to do, we have two switches here. It is a color changing light bar, so that's pretty cool. And that's why there's two. And then we're gonna have to hook up the positive and the negative terminals, and then hook up the relay to ground, and that is absolutely it. So we'll get started with that right now. So the first thing we're gonna do is hook up the positive and the negative to the battery itself. We have these two clamps here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put the wire from the wiring harness into this end, clamp it, and then we're gonna hook it up to the battery. So that's what we're doing now.
Make sure it's nice and tight. We can cut clips out of this case around the outside. It's definitely be a learning curve to figure out what the best thing to include are. I think it's pretty steep on here. So like right now we can put some music there. So you can cut all this us talking out. Yeah. That's fine. This is the one that never even got crimped properly.
So to ensure that the clamps did not come out, we just put a little bit of electrical tape over the end of each terminal just to keep it in place. This isn't necessary. It's just because we're using a little lower end O-ring clamps. The only thing left to do at this point, we're going to connect the relay, ground that, take the two clamps that actually hook up to the light bar itself, feed it in. So this is where we're going to mount. You can see the one bracket that we've already put in. The other one has fallen out. We're going to mount it here. We're going to feed the wires through the grill just so it comes out right here, and we'll sit just like that. Give us a lot of extra light, especially since one of our headlights is out as well. That will be not as important. So now we're going to hook up the relay.
Okay, keep telling me on my next yeah. Ew, my loss. Just no filler words at all.
Now what we're going to do is take the wires. We're going to simply feed it through wherever it's not touching anything moving. Okay, so we're going to put it straight through this hole, away from moving parts. Very important. So we got it fed through. We're trying to feed it into the grill just past the mud flap so it can actually reach to where the light bar will sit. It's a little finicky, as you can tell. We got one through. Now where's the other? There they are. So they'll just rush like that, and having the light bar here will keep them in place and out of the elements, but they are water resistant, which is good. So from now, all we have to do is actually mount the light bar and connect it. Right now I'm hooking up the bracket. I found just a bolt and nut laying around that was able to fit through the hole that we had already drilled for the frame itself. And now I am tightening up on the other side, and I'll get some to tighten up even more just so it stays in place. And we'll probably take some tape or or glue or something put underneath just to make sure it doesn't fall out. So we just hooked up the wiring harness for the light bar, and Mitch, do you care to do the honors? It should just be as simple as a flip of a switch and it will come on. Let's hope so. You ready? Oh yeah, nice and bright. We're gonna be using that tonight when we go off-road. If you have any ideas for future videos, please leave them in the comments below along with any feedback or questions. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless.